Hello everyone, especially Steamians at steamit.com. This is Colonel. Today is January 11th, and I'll be reading the content from a post I'll be posting called Empowering Change by Creating a Market for Truth. Doesn't that sound interesting? Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. And that's from George Orwell. You might be familiar with that quote. From a little famous book called 1984. The first infographic here is Empowering Change. Just a little brief explanation on the power of consciousness and the trivium method, and what happens when we don't apply this regularly in our life. So we have the free will choice to care and be empowered to change things with an understanding, which is the why, of the knowledge, which is the what we receive from reality. And then we have, for example, a situation, an event, or a problem. And then once we receive that knowledge, the who, what, where, when, of that situation, event, or problem, then we realize and recognize the reality in its current condition. So we see the good and the bad, the truth and the falsity, the right and the wrong, and we see things as they are. Then we're empowered. This is empowerment level 1 from facing the problem. After we actually face the problem, we can become empowered to actually care and engage in a free will choice and the willpower to change things. But before we can act, we first choose to change things and have the drive to do it. And having the will and care is not enough alone. We need our knowledge and understanding to do the right change. So we must be empowered with knowledge and understanding before we have the wisdom to act. So the first level of empowerment is just to get the care and the choice to engage in our willpower to learn. So truth and learning are very important, as I've talked about in my work. Knowledge is the collecting of the information. So more information, once you know the problem, you still need more information to figure out why that problem happened. So you get more information. And then you can understand through processing that information to determine the root causal factors of why that is happening. And this brings you to the higher level of empowerment, level 2, where you actually find the solution. Because you understand the root causal factor that created it, and then you can understand and envision and imagine a solution, and then test to see if it's applicable and valid, etc. So that's a solution understood from seeing the problem clearly. That's why you still need to learn, and knowing about a problem isn't enough. You need to learn more in order to figure out a solution. And then we have the willpower, which is the force to act, and we actualize that right action, which is how to apply it. First we learn who, what, where, when, then we understand why that happened, and then we can change how we act to do the right thing instead of the wrong thing. So this works more effectively on a personal scale, where we see the results manifest in the change in our lives by our own actions. But on a global scale, well, you don't control reality, so the changes on a global scale require everyone to change. This is the importance of truth and getting everyone to care and seek truth in our lives, so that we can all individually change our own problems and collectively the problems we all are partially responsible or not responsible, whatever, but they're in the world and they need to be corrected. And on the left side, if we don't engage in that, then we end up with the mindset of a lot of people where you have learned helplessness, where you think no change is possible. So we're not empowered. We lack a care and will and motivation for the need to change. We think change isn't even possible. And that's where we've been rendered lazy, apathetic, and foolish. And that results from a lack of understanding reality. We don't have enough knowledge from reality, and especially quality knowledge of truth and moral truth. So we have a misunderstanding. Things are misunderstood and we're fooled. That's why we act foolishly and why we're lazy and apathetic. We don't have that empowerment from that understanding to empower us to change. And that comes from, that lack of understanding comes from a lack of knowledge from reality, which is usually from a lack of care for truth because we're not learning. So of course we're all ignorant in our lives in various degrees. So you can have a lack of knowledge simply because you haven't learned it yet, even though you're actively trying to learn and figure things out. You have a question and you don't have an answer, so you're ignorant of it and then you try to figure it out. But a lot of the times is we don't have the knowledge because we haven't reached that point in our lives, like me 10 years ago or 11 years ago, whatever it is now. I didn't have that care for truth. I didn't have that spark ignited within me to recognize that I was wrong, and I was wrong about more things, and I needed to figure out what was wrong in order to get back on to the path of what was right. And it takes a long time. Truth takes time. So most people aren't motivated to want to learn, as they lack a real care for truth, yet they hope to do the right thing in a state of ignorance. How do we change to do more right? We learn. Understanding of knowledge gained is the power to generate the force that can move us to change. Care is that generative force to move us to act. Truth fuels it all. Truth is the foundation for higher, realer, and truer living. And I've talked about this in a lot of my work already, all these understandings. If we're not doing what needs to be done to correct a situation, maybe we lack knowledge and need to learn more truth in order to develop the motivational power to engage in the change that is required. Think about that if you haven't thought about it. That's the importance of learning, the importance of truth. Is knowledge power? Yes, in at least two ways. Power to you. Number one is power to you. Knowledge gained can empower you to understand something and act in accordance with that understanding, as I just explained above in that infographic on empowering change. The second way that knowledge is powerful is it takes power from you. Where knowledge is restricted, it can disempower you by keeping you ignorant of how to change things. If someone can control the information you are getting and or feeding you titillating distractions for your attention, then your ability to function in reality according to more information is being restricted by others. They're giving you entertainment and things, low quality information to focus your time and attention on. So your time and attention is not being focused on higher quality information that can actually improve the quality and condition of your life. So I've talked about this in other posts. You can go learn more, and that's why I'm not repeating everything in the text, but I elaborate in voice. There is a power differential from hiding, occulting, and encrypting knowledge. Intelligentsia specialize in that, and so too do secret societies that have been around for who knows how long. And here's a second infographic, the power differential from occulted knowledge. When you hide knowledge, certain people have it and certain people don't. As I mentioned, the 2 points of knowledge. When you have the knowledge, you're empowered, and when it's restricted, then you're disempowered and you don't have the ability to empower yourself, and other people use it to keep you disempowered. So there's people with understanding, few people, that have an understanding of the depth of substance in the world, the meaningful quality knowledge, quality truth. So they're empowered because they have most of what's important to be known. And most people are kept distracted. We want what's easy and fun and entertaining and enjoying and blissful and etc., whatever feels good. Hard-hitting truth and thinking and investing time and dedication and effort and energy and determination and persistence to uncover truth, well, that's not as fun. So people are confused because they don't have knowledge. They're in the unknown. There's a lot of unknown variables for them. They can't process an equation with the unknowns, so they don't have the ability to factor in a solution, just as an analogy to an equation. That's because most people are ignorant. They're focusing on those appearances, the superficial, the entertainment, the low-quality knowledge. And that important knowledge, the hidden, occulted, encrypted knowledge, is more available now, but it's recently with the internet it's a lot more available. Before it was still in academia, and before that it was just in secret societies, and it was kept hidden. And this is the knowledge of how we function ourselves. The function and behavior of individual consciousness is that lower self-knowledge of, it's not a lower consciousness knowledge. It's a self-knowledge that's just about how, as individuals, we function. And that's the minor or micro arcana in terms of the tarot and ancient symbolism and methods of conveying knowledge through imagery and symbols. And that's about the individual. But when you get to the major macro universal knowledge of self, well, that refers to an inclusion of not just yourself as an individual, but all the other individual consciousnesses around us, and including self plus other in our understanding of self-knowledge. So it's not just about ourselves. We recognize that we ourselves, that others are like ourselves. It's another consciousness. So we recognize the others, and this allows us from simply individual consciousness, function, and behavior. Now we understand more of the moral laws by recognizing our interaction of consciousnesses. The other consciousnesses allows us to develop the understanding and recognition of moral laws on how to behave. So this is the functionality of the major and minor, the micro and the macro, individual and universal in terms of morality. And this is the real occulted knowledge. Moral truth is what's the most important. I'll just read the text here at the bottom. Knowledge of the functionality, motivations, and drives within our mind, psyche, and consciousness empowers us in life. Ignorance of important quality knowledge is detrimental to survival and well-being. Those who have this knowledge and use it with their dark care have the power to manipulate and control the minds of the ignorant and confused. The foundation for everything is based on truth. The more truth we have in common, the stronger the bond, because it is based in reality, what is, and not on a semblance of reality based on ignoring or denying the truth we don't want to face. Not convinced of how important truth is? Think about someone lying to you, being dishonest, or betraying you. How important is that in your life? Truth is the foundation for everything. If truth didn't matter, trust in others and loyalty towards others wouldn't be broken by betrayal, dishonesty, lying, etc. These are subconscious, axiomatic, intuitive, non-reflective understandings we operate by in life, but it can be consciously recognized and seen. Truth is at the foundation of everything. Truth is a synonym for reality or existence. Truth is the most important thing in all our lives, and we ignore its importance. Here I have a link to What is Truth post if you want to learn more about that. Truth is the most important thing in all our lives, and we ignore its importance. We don't seek it out to learn more, but are just passively stumbling into it through our life and not actively engaging in seeking it out. Why speak truth? It's important to get on the same page of understanding with others. Also, speaking truth and being recognized as someone who does speak truth, who is honest, establishes confidence in your character and in your word. This will create a reputation of an honest person, that you're not a deceiver or liar. This is important in life for our social and cooperative living together. If you lie to someone, they will recognize that you're not representing reality honestly to them. This does not engender trust, faith, loyalty, or belief in another person. If you were to keep lying to someone, they would likely stop interacting with you if they were sane and cared about reality more than their attachment to a bullshitter who lies to them all the time. People don't like being lied to. That simple fact demonstrates the supreme importance of truth that most people don't even consciously recognize with their awareness. We go through life in a subconscious recognition of stumbling around trying to find truth, but few actively care and seek out truth to a higher degree. If people are lied to, they will go elsewhere to get away from the liar. Think of the mainstream media and how they are fooling people with low quality, unimportant, insignificant information. Many people want to know what is really happening, and they know they are being kept from more important information, and some people know they are being outright lied to by the mainstream media. This is even being shown with Trump denying the fake mainstream media news stories about Russia and hacking. People want to know the truth deep down inside because it is the foundation for reality and for our understanding of reality. Truth is reality and existence. People will go get the truth somewhere else if they're not getting it from the mainstream media. The media gets caught lying, yet they keep treating people like fools to be manipulated. Eventually, some people get tired of the lies and deception and find the alternative media and alternative press. The free press and media are now under attack through the fake mainstream media's claims that fake news is a problem outside of the mainstream media, when in actuality the mainstream media invented fake news. There is a real market for truth once you realize this deep and real need for truth in people's lives, even if they don't realize it at a conscious level themselves. Many people are not very self-actualized and self-realized individuals with self-knowledge. This is why it's important for them to understand the importance of truth and the need to learn, because they lack self-knowledge to be able to empower themselves in their lives more fully. Once more people realize the foundational root causal importance of truth in our lives, then truth will become the most valuable content in the world. This is how I have valued truth in my life since I have made the shift to recognizing its importance many years ago. Truth, and more specifically moral truth, is the real capital in our lives. The real capital, the most important and chief value to give something that determines the quality and condition of our lives, is based on truth and morality. The deeper, higher quality, more hard-hitting, more meaningful, more life-changing, more empowering psychological and philosophical truth will be the top knowledge in our lives once we get to that point of self-realization and self-actualization towards a care for truth and morality. Making truth into a mimetic mind virus by getting people to care for and seek truth and to understand the supreme importance of truth in our lives will empower people to empower themselves, and that will change the whole world. So who's with me? Let's revamp truth and make it popular in everyone's consciousness. Post information that will help people learn about problems around us so that they can then understand they need to learn more to be able to find and apply a solution with everyone else working on the same goal. You can also read about my goal to do this shortly after I joined Steemit, and I have a link to Steemit Succeeds, If We Make It Succeed, analysis to help yourself and Steemit grow in quality. And that ties in, well, that's what my whole work is about, is getting people to understand the importance of truth and quality information and putting it out so that we can improve our own individual lives and the lives of everybody. And that's what I view Steemit as, an avenue, a revolutionary platform to do that, where people can actually be incentivized to do this through rewards. Because I was doing it for free for 3 years on Facebook, and I get a lot more attention and a lot more feedback and a lot more people and interested, it seems, on Steemit than on Facebook. So, this is my goal. It's always been my goal since I was here, and you can read more about it. Check out the article. There's links in it to previous posts, so to learn more about certain things. And that's about it. So, thank you very much for your time and attention. I appreciate it. And please provide me with feedback if you have any. Take care. Peace. Care. Peace. Care. Peace. Care. Peace. Care. Peace.